What's up? Welcome to a new van tour. This van is a 4x4 Sprinter 144, and it took me 4 months to build, completely solo build, day in and day out. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the van. First and foremost, what went into this was the thought behind the materials. That was the foundation even before the design of this van, was to use the best, most durable, and when possible, sustainable materials that I can. I'm really excited about the countertop, and it's this 100% recycled paper that is pressed down, and that creates an incredibly strong counter. If you get a scrape on it and really mess it up, you just sand it out and then put some Osmo, you're good to go. I used bamboo plywood for all the cabinetry. I used 80/20 aluminum, which I'm sure everyone is very familiar with, and yes, I loved using it. It was fantastic. I'm gonna use it again. I always use Havelock wool. I'm a huge fan of that. I like the idea. I like the product itself. I like that they support the van life community. Now, after the material selection comes the design. The first thing you see when you enter the van is the seat with the Lagoon table. So it's a bench seat, and the seats in the cab are factory swivel seats. 3 people can comfortably sit in there. That's important for the 144. Next to that bench seat is the shower. It's a PVC shower tile material, and you just glue it on, seal up the seams, lock it in. It's lightweight, durable, which is what I care about a lot. It's gonna last a long time, and yeah, I'm just a big fan. There is a Nature's Head toilet in the shower on top of a purple heart or a purple wood floor. On the other side, across from the shower, is the kitchen galley. So it has a flip-up table. It also has a pull-out trash can and a stainless steel isotherm 12-volt fridge. I love those fridges. I think they're the best. It's what I put in every van. I use stainless steel marine latches where I could. Those for all the latches in the back and the latch to open up the trash can compartment on the kitchen. There's obviously a sink, pull-down faucet, and a propane stove. Why did I go with propane? It's really cheap. You don't have to worry about burning your electricity out, and the main reason is that I just love cooking with fire. So in the kitchen, you have the porcelain tile and then some storage up above. That shelf was actually pretty tricky to make because there's the angle of the van, and then there's the fact that it actually sits like halfway in the door. So then it was attaching it to the ceiling and figuring out how to make it rigid enough that that floating portion was going to be there securely and safely, and also building out those angles. It was tricky, and I learned a good amount doing that. So I used the Festool Domino to help me line up and make sure I get a really good wood glue on those angles to just make a really strong shelf.
Oh my God.
All right, take 2. I upholstered all the walls with a tan fabric, and there's an 1/8 inch of foam in between there. There are 12-volt reading lights as well, and you just tap those to turn them on. It's simple to use. They can tuck out of the way. So in the ceiling of the van, all throughout the center of it, is the panel that holds the lights. It holds 2 sets of lights, puck lights in the center, and then recessed LED strip lights that are dimmable. So it effectively is this centerpiece that is floating a 1/2 inch down from the ceiling. And when you turn the dimmer lights on, it glows from behind that. So you just have this floating center ceiling panel, and then I routed out the openings to the fans so they fit exactly. So speaking of dimmers, to the right side of the fridge, there's the diesel S-bar heater control unit, the main light switch, the 12-volt water pump switch, which I think is important to have next to the sink, just easily accessible, so you just make a good habit out of turning it on and off every time you use it. A 120 plug for outlets. Now, in the back of the van is where all the electrical system and the storage and the water come into play at once. I added stainless steel trim edges to the bamboo. When you're loading gear in, you're gonna hit the corner, and even though bamboo is durable, you can easily dent it if you're throwing skis in there or whatever. So there are 2 storage sections. One's deep storage, the other is kind of just a storage box. And next to that, on the left-hand side, you've got 2 cutoff switches. One cuts off the 400 amp hours to the Victron inverter charger, and the other cuts off the 12 volt. You can also cut off the 12 volt from the Victron app on your phone. in addition to the 3 breakers for the outlets and for the water heater, I just wanted to be able to look at that and know, okay, shut that off, shut this off, boom, the van is turned off. I think that for good reason, the electricity components of vans can be really intimidating, especially to users who didn't build the van. So I wanted to leave that as sealed up as possible. It's easily accessible from the inside. There's a door that opens, and then you can see the entire inside. It's a standard Victron setup, so you've got the Victron inverter charger, 400 amp hours of Battleborn batteries, 12 volt distribution, alternator charger from Victron, solar charger from Victron with 3 Zamp solar panels on the roof. That's most of the functionality. You know, it's all the small details that over the course of 4 months you come up with. But yeah, having sold my previous vans, that just kind of slowly built. The skill set kind of just slowly built. It's all just a learning process, and my learning process over the past 5 years brought me to building this van, and I'm gonna continue to do that this year. Speaking of which, this is not the van we're talking about. This is an empty shell, so stay tuned, and yeah, I'm excited to get going again. But thank you for watching the video. My allergies are starting to attack me. If I left anything out, leave a comment, I'll answer the question. And let me know your favorite part. Let me know, actually, I'm curious about this. Let me know your favorite materials that were used, and also any suggestions you have for some cool, sustainable, durable, just cool materials that I should keep my eye on. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.